So, why did you want to start recording, Saunders?
Just Dio is an idiot.
And if that's no cold open, I don't know what is.
Dio is an idiot. Peace out and just chill till the next flavoring.
I was just amazed by the end of it. I was thinking, even every challenge, he screwed it up as badly as possible. Because what was the first challenge of this round? That was the number one. Yeah, the steps, where he says, "Actually, I don't feel like walking upstairs, even though there are other people in this cast who are significantly older than me. And aside from Martin, I'm probably in the best shape of all 9 people. But no, I'm just going to hang out at the bottom here. And any question about me, I'm going to have no idea how to answer it. What number did my song reach on the charts? I don't know. 12, 15, 18-ish? Somewhere around there.
Before we launch into this, should I do an intro?
No, I just want to talk about how much Dio sucks.
My favorite one was like, how many letters are in your name? And he took like 20 seconds just to spell his name. And somehow that was the good challenge for him in this episode.
That's out of the Taka playbook.
Welcome to the second episode of Istanbul 2012 Recaps from Reality TV Warriors. My name is Michael Halverstone, and joining me as always is the Canadian who talks a lot, which people find annoying, Logan Saunders, ironically.
Afternoon.
And the guy whose height we can't divide by Williams' swimming certificates as they wouldn't have moved at all, David Bindley.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have you been watching anything interesting this week, Saunders?
I think in the past week I got through both seasons of Traitors Quebec, and I have gotten through 7 episodes of Traitors Ireland.
Thoughts? Question mark.
The initial pick of Traitors for Traitors Ireland, they did not get along too well.
No.
I've never seen them not only fight in the conclave, but also take time to fight on the couch before a round table in plain view of everybody.
I think I sent you guys a message last week when I watched that episode just going, I can't remember a group of original traitors who hate each other this much. Like, it was very impressive how quickly they imploded.
And just how Wayne, or what's her name? Oyen. Yeah, how she just said, I think that was not just traitor versus traitor. I think that was traitor versus traitor versus traitor at that round table.
But they played it so stupidly. Like, Eamon and Caitlin made it so obvious they were going to go after Pordy that they just left it open for Pordy to get them both.
Yes. And then somehow Poddy doesn't go after that.
Oh, he's such a good character.
I don't know how he just keeps deflecting, because he had suspicion on him earlier than the other 2 traitors.
I have such a huge amount of time for bumbling old people traitors, especially when it's someone like Pordy, who is just genuinely incredibly useless and argumentative and delightful as a character.
I was thinking there was a very realistic scenario, given that with the first recruitment being rejected. I was thinking, what if Poddy were to blackmail somebody and that person agrees to get murdered instead, and then Poddy goes home at the next round table and there are 0 traitors left with like 4 or 5 episodes to go?
I can give you the answer to that because it has happened exactly once. They keep doing join or dies until someone says yes.
But what if there's only like 5 or 4 players left? If like four of them agreed to get murdered by blackmail, and they don't have enough people to finish the remainder of the episodes.
I'm sure there's a contingency in it, but the answer is they will keep doing join or dies until someone says yes.
Yeah. But I was thinking they could realistically get like 7 or 8 traitors out by the end of the season.
Like you've not seen last night's episode, I presume?
No, but I think I know the outcome of it.
We're recording this on the eve of, well, episode 9 is airing at the moment. I've not seen episode 8 yet. I know kind of how the episode ends. I don't know who goes home at the round table, but I know that it ends with a murder in plain sight, which I cannot wait because I know Porty survives. So I can't wait to see him do a murder in plain sight because it's going to be delightful. But I don't know. I know who he recruits. I know there is a murder in plain sight, and I know that he ends up being involved in it in some capacity. But I'm going to be watching it after we finish recording this episode.
He blackmailed his own son.
I know, and his own son knew already. Basically, he knew his dad's handwriting. It was delightful. But he knows what makes good TV. He knew that everyone wanted to see him blackmail his own son. And Siobhan is definitely at the top of the second tier of Traitors hosts for me now.
1 tier below Karen.
Corinne and Roger, yeah. They're always going to be my top 2, I think. But yeah, Siobhan is very much knocking at the door of that top tier.
Traitors Quebec 2 was interesting in the way that it played out like a season of Survivor, where we talked about this in the chat, but how the goal wasn't even really to find traitors for them. It was just a matter of getting to the end because absolutely nobody knew for sure who the traitors were. They even asked the winners, "Oh, who do you think the traitors are?" And nobody knew.
Yeah. I mean, Audrey was such a wrecking ball in the season. Like, so much of the season was dictated by her. And it's kind of interesting comparing it with the Canadian version, which obviously filmed pretty much back to back with it, with the same challenges. Also, on the subject of Traitors Canada, how the fuck is Dom still a thing? Like, the dude was shit on them all. He was shit on Perfect Match. And he's still being cast for things, despite the fact that nobody likes him.
He's cheap.
Yeah, but there's cheap, and there's actually finding good Canadian reality stars if you're going to go down that route still. Like, his spot could have been filled by someone far more interesting from Amazing Race Canada, and that is a low bar.
Hey, don't diss Cedric.
There are a lot of boring people from Amazing Race Canada, and yet most of those would still be more interesting than Dom.
Hey, season 4. I'm sure Gino Montani will be on it.
Oh, don't even.
Keep fit, and by order of the traitors, you have been murdered.
No, keep fit. By order of the traitors, you can fuck off. Like, this is what I mean. Cast Hal and Joanne, for goodness sake. They would ruin the game. It'd be delightful.
Can you imagine being in the conclave with that mustache?
I know that it's very unlikely that Joanne would ever do it after the keep fit and fuck off incident, but like Hal would absolutely say yes, I think.
And I think you have to do like a Nick and Phil twist where they play as one contestant together.
I would love to see Lowell do it, to be honest. I think Lowell would have a blast. He would never be a traitor, obviously, but I think he would have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, especially the murder in plain sight twist.
Way to lower the tone, Saunders. A twist nobody saw coming. Least of all Lowell.
We have to put up with this when we're not recording as well.
Blind man puns.
Especially, I can't, yeah, because that happened in Traitors Ireland too, where, was it Eamon? Or I can't remember who said that Mark was the soundest lad in the cast, and that's the only person who's deaf. It's like, really? Word choice, Cyril. Phrasing, Cyril.
Obviously, I ended up chatting to my brother about Traitors at the weekend because he discovered that Traitors India was on his flight, which is hilarious for him.
Is that all in English?
It's mostly English. There's a bit of Hindi mixed in, but there's subtitles for
just when they want to swear at each other.
Yeah, put it this way, Saunders. It's absolutely worth watching. Everyone's insane in it. It's amazing. But yeah, when we went to New York in June, Traitors was on the in-flight entertainment, and he got the same system this time. So he's like, "Oh yeah, Traitors was on the in-flight entertainment." I'm like, "I know it was in June." He's like, "No, Traitors India." I'm like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" Like, I watched the entire thing. Everyone is batshit insane in it. It's perfect television.
And that was 12 episodes too?
It is 10 episodes, I believe.
Did they film it in the UK or did they film it in India?
They filmed it at a proper fort in India.
Oh, that's really cool.
It is super cool. And the conclave is like a crypt, and it's just beautiful television. It's probably the most creative Traitors I've seen in terms of franchises, because it feels, obviously, because it is the only one that's not really filmed in a wet Scottish castle, it just feels so different straight away. It feels so authentically Indian.
Yeah, and it's got Amazon money thrown at it as well. So
Oh, absolutely. They've already recommissioned it. It was a huge success in India.
oh, good.
And I don't believe it's actually on Amazon Prime anywhere else in the world,
Huh.
which is interesting. I don't think you can actually legitimately watch it on Amazon Prime in the UK, for example.
VPN.
Yeah, so it's well worth watching, Saunders, if you have any sources for it. Put it that way.
Right. Oh, and then so back to Dio being a complete idiot.
I'm trying to do the non-Vidum stuff first, so you guys could just do half an hour on Dio being an idiot, and I can just sit back and go get supper or something.
And then he was terrible on the walkie-talkie in the second challenge because they all said, "Hey," because I thought it was like a case of, somebody holding down the button so you can't hear the other person properly. But no, it was that Dio couldn't compensate for how windy it was, so no one could hear him on the walkie-talkie, so they couldn't figure out that the word was Viking. So he screwed up that challenge too.
The fact he didn't know his left and his right, he didn't know which car he was speaking to. Like, the dude is a hot mess for all three of these challenges.
And then in that third challenge there, everyone figured out, okay, with the oil drum, when you release the smoke, you need to pause in between like each beat so everyone knows, okay, that for the first number for the code is 5 or so. But he was doing it so quickly to the point that they were doing completely fine up until that last relay that involved Dio, because he was releasing the numbers so fast to where they concluded that the final code was 4 times 2 instead of 4263 because of how badly Dio relayed the numbers. Because it was just one continuous plume of smoke coming out rather than individual numbered plumes. And then on the quiz, he has the genius idea to go all in on one person.
When he's not even confident. Like, he admits it was a 50-50 guess.
That's not what 50-50 means when there's 8 other people. That's 12.5/12.5.
It was 50-50 for him. He was either right or he was wrong.
I mean, this might be the single worst, like, one episode performance somebody's ever done on this show. And I'm including people who got medevaced in that.
Yeah.
Jean-Marc, you are no longer the worst.
Like, fucking Manuel in Japan skipped all 3 challenges because he was sick. Didn't go through the execution because he wasn't there anymore. I think he still did better in that episode than Dio did this week.
Yeah, because Dio actively cost them $4,500. And the only reason they won that last challenge is because Martin took one look at who the final pair was and went, nope, I'm voting against.
That's my favorite thing, is that they've had 6 challenges this season, and they've technically failed all 6 challenges, but production threw them a bone by saying, oh, if you predict whether or not that they will succeed or fail, you will earn the money. So they succeeded by failing. That's been their only success through 6 challenges, is because they failed all 6 challenges.
There is no way that production did not change the rules on that last challenge to go, come on, we've got to give them some money.
That thought went through my head after the first challenge of this episode. I was thinking, wait a second. They have failed the first 4 challenges of the season in a row. Because we've always talked about it, that in seasons where they, in this era anyway, not so much anymore, where if they're really struggling, they'll suddenly make money much easier to obtain. So I was surprised they didn't adapt it for the second challenges of this episode. And I was thinking, okay, they're 0 for 5 now. They have to be throwing something where it's like, there are 20 rocks out there. Each rock you collect is worth €100 or something like that. I was thinking, no, they're doing another all or nothing. Are they seriously going to let them fail each of the first 6 challenges of the season, because I don't recall any season of Vidum where they failed 6 challenges in a row. We've had negative money through 6 challenges, but I think there was like in Georgia and another season where that's happened. But they still succeed at least. I think Hong Kong, Philippines started out negative. Was that the other one?
No,
Hong Kong, Philippines didn't. They certainly weren't negative by the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's, I mean, they still would have successes even while having a negative pot. But I can't remember a time like this where, if you exclude Martin's prediction, they failed all 6 challenges to start out the season.
I do think it's very interesting on that point that Art's tenure as host is bookended by 2 really bad starts. Because Iceland Spain has a really bad start monetarily, and Georgia has a really bad start monetarily. So it's just an interesting kind of bit of history that Art has really weird bookends. So, now that the Dio roast has begun, previously 9 new famous Dutch people and 1 sneaky Tasmanian were dumped in rugged Iceland and told to find each other. The mole's first sabotage saw the team lose an hour, while a trip to a glacier saw the team lose money, and Fritz, Tim, and Marit sneakily earn exemptions. At a paintball duel, they had to defend their exemptions and did, leaving them immune for episodes 1, 2, and 3 respectively. At the execution, an old lady kindly lent them her house, and Marion was the first to leave the game. Art says that Marion's insight turned out to be a fatal mistake, while the others continue and are tormented by the landscape. They can finally earn some money this episode if they know each other well enough.
I think my favourite bit of Art's intro here is learning the Dutch word for Iceland is Iceland, just spelled weirdly.
Yeah, it's IJSLAND, I believe.
And the J's are capital as well.
Oh, of course.
What a pointless J.
Yeah.
Wasn't Pointless J your own nickname in Renaissamce?
Turns out I can set him up too.
Yes, you can. The episode title is Minus, and Lisbeth is the first to speak, and she says she finds it odd that Fritz didn't even ask what sort of questions were on the test, even though he was exempt. Tim says the group is very open with each other. If you ask, they'll tell you their shoe size.
I mean, it's probably fair that Fritz doesn't really care what was on the test, because either A, the questions are largely unlikely to turn up again, like the personal information stuff, they're not going to use the same question twice. And B, he's probably watched the show enough to know it's a bunch of things like what group was the mole in, and is the mole male or female? Like, those are predictable things. Like, I don't think there's any information he could have got out of asking what was on the test that he didn't, like, that was necessary for him to have.
Yeah, I agree. Williams says he has a strategy, which is to talk a lot, which people find annoying. They think he's using reverse psychology, and he's now going to stop and work hard to earn money, find out who the mole is, and win the pot. Mr. Paranoia is changing into Mr. Silence, and after 1 episode, Fritz says he's totally nuts.
Yeah, there aren't high IQ strategies going on here in this opener. We find out why this group is not doing well. You can use Dio as the scapegoat, but there aren't any brilliant performers here. I would say the sharpest person we've seen so far since the beginning and with the best ideas has been Martin.
Yeah.
Dio is a symptom, not the cause.
I think the hilarious thing about Dio is not only, like, he did badly here, but somehow not only was he runner-up on Survivor, he won Hunted. Somehow this is a man who's very good at reality TV and also completely shit at this.
I did not know either of those things.
Neither did I. I like how with William's strategy when he was going into his confession about being Mr. Paranoid and Mr. Silence, and now he's going to try and win all the money, and as this confessional is going on, we see him completely lose control of his luggage and he has to chase after his own luggage. And I'm thinking, yeah, this group needs some help from production. It's like they're doing about as well as that as those 2 backpackers who mixed up Tunis with Nice.
I just love that when they get to this first challenge, we see the waterfall, in, like, when they're driving up, and then we never see the waterfall again. Like, they make the whole big deal about, the staircase goes to the waterfall, and then we never see the waterfall because they're shooting from the other side. It's just a staircase in the middle of a field.
Yeah.
One of the contestants said that this is Lord of the Rings, so hopefully there's no geography challenges either.
Well, this would still predate Game of Thrones, I think, just.
Barely.
This would be in 2011 they filmed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the finals, how many seasons did Game of Thrones go on for? 8?
7? 8?
Because the final season aired in 2019 while I was backpacking.
So yeah, 2012 they would have probably started releasing that then, roughly.
Yeah, maybe a producer heard Venom film there or saw the season of Venom and said, hey, let's use it for Game of Thrones.
I mean, you know what the Vikings were like with all their pillaging and mordoring.
And they're Frodoing.
So they begin on a path full of steps, apparently leading up to a waterfall that we never see, and there is a walkie-talkie waiting for them. Art is at the top of the steps and will ask them a question with a numerical answer. Their answer is the number of steps which they must climb, and then leave one person behind for each question. If the person who reaches the top lands exactly on the step that he's on, they will earn €2,000 for the pot.
I have a question. Do you think it would have been allowed for them on the final question? Because production let them miscount the number of steps each time, right?
Yeah.
That was part of the challenge. So could you intentionally miscount and just reach art at the end of the challenge?
My suspicion is that last question was asked deliberately around a corner where you couldn't see exactly where Art was.
But wouldn't you just keep walking up until you could see, until you meet up with art? Just keep walking?
I mean, if it was one or two different, maybe, but it was 28 in the end. I don't think
Yeah.
they would have gone away with 28 bonus steps.
Yeah, I think the way to break this challenge is sort of the first couple of answers. You know, the answer is conveniently 176 or whatever, and then basically when you get to art, all of a sudden the answers become 1, 2, whatever, just to make sure you get onto the exact right step.
Yeah. The other thing is, I don't know how possible this challenge is.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of those challenges that's easy to break, but doing it as it's intended is utterly impossible. Because, like, the first couple of questions are easy enough sort of things, like how many piercings does Anna Marie have, how many people are in a comedy trio, all of that sort of stuff. And then, by the end of it, it's like, what's the tenths of a second number in Martin's Olympic gold medal time from 4 years ago? How thick is Anna Marie's glasses? Like, none of those are numbers that anyone's got to know off the top of their head.
I presume they weren't allowed to just run up the steps and count them as well, because that would be the other way I would break this challenge.
Just go pure Rocky Balboa up the steps.
Yeah. Just get to the top and obviously shout, Adrian! So the first question is the number of letters in Fritz's full name less the number of piercings that Anna Marie has. They have 1 minute to give an answer, and they decide on 20. William suggests that they all say who they trust the least to try and find out who everyone suspects, and they elect Anna Marie as the person to stay behind, but Dio instead volunteers as he doesn't want to climb stairs anyway.
He is terrible at this.
Thinking back to the premiere, do you think that Dio had already checked out because he wanted to go somewhere warm and ended up in Iceland?
Yes, because he complained about that all throughout the premiere, right?
Yeah, he complained about it all through the premiere, and then at the end of this episode, when he goes home, someone says to him, "Oh, I wish you'd gone somewhere hotter."
Didn't he do something stupid during the tube challenge as well?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, almost certainly.
I was scrolling up my notes from episode 1, and my one note from episode 1 is Dio and William argue over who is the biggest idiot.
Well, I think we have an answer now.
Yeah, him and William searched through all the hay on the bridge, which then let Marrett win an exemption and lost them €500. Which, again, would have put them on €0 in the pot if they'd not been such morons.
Oh man, I forgot that, Dio was in that Merritt scene, because, yeah.
Him and William had an absolute open goal on that bridge, and both of them overthought it and started looking for yokers.
Yeah, because I also wrote down this might be the biggest WTF moment in history, and then 2 lines later, Dio and William argue over who is the biggest idiot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So the second question is Martin's height in centimetres divided by William's swimming certificates, and they go for 51 and leave Tim behind. The third question is then the number of people performing in the Monica de Silva trio multiplied by the number of letters in Dio's full name. And as Bindles said earlier, Dio decides to spell it out for them incredibly slowly. Like, it's 18 letters, and he takes well over 18 seconds.
I think he managed to get through the smoke signal faster than it took him to spell his own name.
And also, the fact of the matter is, I think this is the one where they fuck up the most, because if it is 3 people in a trio, as you'd kind of assume, that costs them 18 steps here. And they miss 28.
I found a note from the Glacier Challenge. I think I know what it is that I wrote down about Dio, which is surprisingly relevant to this challenge. My note from the Glacier Challenge is Dio keeps forgetting how many steps to the treasure. So maybe it's a good thing he dropped out first. If it's anything involving steps, apparently Dio just doesn't want anything to do with it. Oh, and then my note from the first challenge of the premiere is Dio doesn't know what's going on. So there we go. That's our recap of Dio's performance in all 6 challenges.
I'm going to guess that Dio's never done Dislims to Men's.
But yeah, it's crazy to think that he's done really well in competitive reality TV, but in Vidum, this is just not the show for him at all.
Yeah. It's going to be so funny if he turns up for Renaissamce.
I must admit, I'm kind of hoping that someone from either Northern Ireland Jordan or Iceland Spain appears in Renaissamce, because neither of them got Renaissance reps. And, you know, it would be kind of thematically appropriate for us, because by the end of this season, we will probably hit Renaissamce chat, I think.
Yeah.
We're on course to finish sometime in November, I think, so we will almost certainly at least discuss the cast. And let's be honest, take the piss out of Saunders if he's incredibly wrong again, because he's not been having a good year.
No.
The fourth question is the number of high school diplomas that Fritz has, plus Lisbeth's house number.
What is with this show and wanting people to know celebrities' house numbers?
Yeah, because it happened on the Wheel of Belfast as well.
Like, I get there's only so many things you can do with, like, number answers, but I can't imagine, like, a US show being like, okay, so what number does Kathy Griffin live at?
To be fair, I think Kathy Griffin probably would tell people.
No, she just, like, circle whatever number was on the left of the list.
1111 Fake Street.
And then say she had a system.
But then Art tells everybody about it. Then Kathy Griffin says, "Oh, I didn't know you knew that, nor we're going to reveal it."
So the fifth question is... The fifth question is... I need to not laugh, because I will call a hate watch again. The fifth question is Hardwick's... It's Hate Watch's house number, plus the number of Aries in the group, plus the highest place that Dio's song Time Machine got to in the top 40. He doesn't know what place his song got to, but he thinks that it might have been 12.
What is the correct answer to that?
I think 6.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's 6 in the Netherlands, though.
Yeah, hey, there's still a fair amount of people there.
I know. The song was a hit, reaching 6th place in the single top 100 and 12th place in the top 40. So I can see why he got confused there.
Oh, because he did say top 40 or top 100. That's right.
Yeah, like that, they were genuinely different numbers. So, and he knew both of the numbers because I think they both turned up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just wasn't clear which one they were asking for.
Also, fun fact, he did an album in 2015 where he did a collaboration with our good friend Rob from China.
Oh. Hi, Rob.
Sorry we made fun of your friend, Rob.
I'm not.
Send all complaints to Logan Saunders.
What? Send it to my stable?
You do know from Michelle's behaviour that if you lean into the joke, I just go further, right? Like, leaning into the joke doesn't make it any more boring.
Oh wait, send it to the oubliette. That's what I meant.
I saw a thing on Bowler's Bar a couple of days ago because at the time we're recording, Rob Brydon's just been announced host of the UK version of The Floor. And I saw a friend of the podcast, Alex McMillan, basically say Rob Lowe and Rob Brydon both mean exactly the same thing, which is the objective of the show, because they're archaic words for land, pretty much. And then I'm like, okay, and Roger Corset does mean fuck a horse. Like, because a corset is a type of jousting horse.
Fun fact, I did apply for the floor and I have not heard back. And I could give you a million guesses on what my category would have been, and you would never have got it.
Horses?
No.
Dogs?
No.
Air trombone?
We're going to keep doing this until you get it.
Nintendo?
No, you're getting warmer though, Saunders.
Splatoon?
No. But again, not a million miles away anymore.
Paintball?
No, think closer to Saunders' Nintendo guess.
Sonic?
Japan?
Something associated with Japan.
Vending machines?
No. I am not going to try and get the floor to show pictures of the sort of vending machines that Saunders frequented when he was in Japan. The used ones, to be precise.
Seedy internet cafes.
I only bought ice cream out of those vending machines.
Put it this way, there was no slot for any yen to go in those vending machines.
Clogged shower drains.
Oh, fucking hell. Can you imagine? Big shiny floor, ITV, primetime TV show. Yeah, and your category is clogged shower drains. You've got to identify what's clogging this shower drain.
You don't stand a chance.
Yeah. Rob, can I say the word semen on TV? The correct answer to what my floor category would have been was Pokemon.
Yeah. Not Wonderful Indonesia?
No, because I thought, logically, it's the sort of thing that no person over the age of 32 is ever going to touch if someone next to me gets randomized. No one is ever going to pick Pokemon as the first one to challenge people on. Ever. Because it's a very specific thing that they would have had to research, and there's over 1,000 now.
Do you know the whole new Pokemon rap?
I don't know the whole new Pokemon rap, but like I did say in the audition video thing that I probably couldn't do it if you tested me now, but give me a week of prep and I could identify every single one of those Pokemon. Absolutely. Because I've been absolutely mainlining Pokemon Go for the last 6 months at this point. There are a lot of Pokemon I did not know existed that are now in my Pokedex on Pokemon Go.
Okay. What is the difference between throw and sock?
It depends what region of the world you're in.
Okay.
So I believe it's in the Eastern Hemisphere, i.e. anything from the UK East is throw now, and anything west of the UK is Sork. And the reason I know that is because when I was in New York, I caught a Sork and I didn't have one in my Pokedex. I did also think that it was incredibly petty of Pokemon Go to take advantage of the heatwave in New York in the week I was there and only spawn Magmars. And that is no word of a lie. I texted my brother when I was there going, it's taking the piss now. It's only spawning lava-themed Pokemon because it's too bloody hot. It was 36, 38 degrees when we were there all week.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was unpleasant. There was one day where I did 32,000 steps and had to have 3 showers.
Huh.
I think it was 32. It might have been even more than that. It was by far the most steps that I've done in one day, beating the previous record of the first day I was in San Francisco last year.
So back to the challenge.
Yeah. The next one is the number of pets that Lisbeth has, minus the number of cancers in the group, which, I mean, it's quite a lot at this point, I think. Plus, Kate watches shoe size. And William realises that he made a mistake in his calculations. And I'll also say, for the record, I do know that it's Hardwick, but we're just going to run with Hate Watch now at this point. Or I know it's Hardwick, I can't vouch for you guys. And the final question is Tim's shoe size times the lens thickness of Anna Marie's glasses, plus the digit after the point of the time that made Martin Olympic champion. And he has, understandably, I would say, no idea of what time he won with.
Yeah, it's not like the 100-meter sprint, with Usain Bolt. This is just a swimming race.
Yeah, I think the headline for Martin winning that is, holy shit, I just won an Olympic medal in open water swimming. I don't think that this dude gives the remotest shit about what time he won with.
Yeah. He won with the best time.
Yeah, because that is not an event that is won in hundreds of seconds.
No.
That is an event that is won in seconds, given the distance that he was swimming.
I did like that because the question is so ridiculous and has so many different layers and so much relaying. It takes them so long to come up with an answer that Art's like, no, fuck you. If you win, I'm taking €100 off the prize, and you're not going to win anyway. But even if you do,
Yeah, that was just an off-air rule that they decided to finally mention. They didn't mention why there was a minute timer, but apparently that's the reason.
hmm.
And then Lisbeth is the last one standing, and Art walks down to her, sarcastically counting the number of steps, which was 28, so they earn nothing of €2,000 for the challenge. And in another Art Dick moment, she asks him what went wrong, and he shrugs and says, yeah, you counted, I guess.
First he's like, well, enough to not win, you dumbasses, and then he's like, and then further a couple of seconds later, he's like, well, maybe you fucked up somewhere.
Maybe something to do with the counting somewhere in the challenge?
It's such a sarcastic response from him at the end of it.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, what went wrong? She's like, counting?
Could you be more specific?
What went wrong is we cast Dio for this season.
Yeah, I think the answer to what went wrong, at least the main bit of it, was the question about Tim's trio and Dio's 18 letters in his name. Like, that is the obvious place, I think, where they lost a lot of steps. There's 10 somewhere else, but if it is 3 in a trio, as you'd assume it is, then that's the main question they lost points on. But also, there's a lot of all or nothing challenges in this season. I know kind of the headline of this is, oh, they're really shit at the first 6 challenges, but none of them have been partial credit challenges. It's been all or nothing on all 6 of them.
The Monaco to Silver trio does just seem to be the two of them.
All right.
So I think that's just a joke name.
Yeah, maybe then.
Yeah, it's just him and Ian from Japan.
Ah, yes, of course it is. So we find out on the bus that Martin spoke to Lisbeth, and she said that William is driving her crazy, changing his mind all the time, so his plan is working.
Gotta love team cohesion. Oh, and William is wearing Colby's hat.
He was wearing the same hat last week. It's the Washington Capitals, is it? I think.
Different. Well, in the vehicle he was wearing Colby's hat, but yes, he was Washington Nationals.
Washington
That's what
Nationals.
he was wearing. Yeah, not the Capitals.
As long as it's not the other Washington team.
The no Washington football team.
One of the show notes is Bindles tries to get Logan cancelled.
Tries.
It's also lucky it's not the Chicago ice hockey team.
I think that one's viewed as accepted by the indigenous community, if I'm not mistaken.
See, I always remember,
or maybe it's mixed now.
Yeah, I always remember that one was a bit controversial as well, and there was a campaign to get rid of it.
But yeah, nowhere near the Washington one.
Yeah, it's not as basic as the Utah one when they introduced that last year of Utah Hockey Club, which has now been replaced by Utah Grizzlies, I think it is.
Sounds like a Joey Cavino question.
Yeah. I did look this up a few weeks ago because I was interested because I knew they were talking. Mammoth, it is Utah Mammoth, because I knew that they were looking at changing it. Because last year it was just Utah Hockey Club was the name.
I should have been the Utah Moon Mammoths.
The Utah Magic Underwear. Thank you very much.
I still think the best one is the Seattle Kraken.
Yes, the Kraken is a badass logo as well.
Wait a second, I didn't know this, that the Phoenix Coyotes were changing to the Utah Mammoth?
I didn't know it's the Phoenix Coyotes. I knew Utah Hockey Club was the newest one, or Utah Mammoth now, but the only reason I knew of Utah Hockey Club is because I still get alerts for the Canucks and the Bruins on my Amazon screen, and it was like Utah Hockey Club, and I'm like, that's got to be a placeholder. So I looked them up last year. So for the second challenge, Art says he's looking for 2 people who don't want to drive the cars behind him, and Dio, who doesn't have a license, and Fritz volunteer. The others must then divide into 2 teams, and Fritz and Dio will be driving the cars remotely using the walkie-talkies. Each of them has a design which, when combined, will create a word on the sand, and if they succeed, it will be worth a lot of money to them. The others will be the ones driving the cars. However, this is a complete fuck up from everyone involved. Fritz and Dio may be the most useless chaotic pair we've ever seen in a challenge. In the history of challenges. Ever.
Apparently, they didn't know how to use walkie-talkies.
Yeah, apparently they didn't realize which cars they were guiding. Because they get so confused, they end up swapping walkie-talkies over.
My right car or their right car?
This challenge should have been really, really easy. Because it's the only challenge we've had so far where, realistically, the mole can be sidelined if they play their cards right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure production was telling the mole to be sidelined after 4 failures, saying, okay, stop, they're already dead.
Yeah, the mole, in theory, can take a backseat in this challenge and just kind of let them win something. However, it's such a colossal fuck up that I don't think the mole really had to do anything anyway.
I mean, to be fair, the mole can't really take a backseat because they do have to drive at some point during the challenge.
Yeah, although there was only one driving change.
Yeah.
And it might still have been Fritz, bear in mind.
Yeah.
So he might have still been in the driving seat for the entire challenge. So they end up somehow forming the first 2 letters of Viking, but then everyone has to swap drivers and chaos ensues.
As soon as they had dispelled the king part, anything that involves royalty is not associated with this cast.
To quote the late great Logan Saunders, it is a king.
It is a Viking.
It is a king is still probably my favourite ever Logan Saunders clip. And I have quite a few.
It's better than my JK impressions, which have not aged well.
No, they haven't. You'll notice that they have never made a reappearance. Because I'm trying to spare you.
It's funny that this challenge is such a clusterfuck with really nobody covering themselves in glory. But even then, there's not really a lot going on because, like, too much of the cast is just sitting around doing nothing all the time, with only really the drivers who don't matter and can't really sabotage, and the guides actually able to do anything here.
Yeah.
I was thinking also with this challenge, they had a tough time. Like, the landscape was really cool for this challenge, but or really unique, I should say. But I feel like they missed the mark on the camera work for this challenge.
Yeah, I think at this point, I would quite like to see an episode that doesn't feature a black sand area.
Yeah.
I think they desperately needed a drone to fly overhead of the 2 cars. I think that would have made it a much better challenge from a viewer standpoint.
Yeah, but also this was 2011 when they filmed it.
Yeah.
They probably couldn't afford a drone.
Nope. Not if they wanted to reduce the pot to current Vidum standards.
So after the challenge, Fritz and Dio have to pick one person each to read the word. Dio picks Anna Marie and Fritz picks Martin. If they succeed, it'll be worth €2,500 for the pot. They suggest that the word is that known dictionary definition of Vidum, the abbreviation for Vies de Mol, and are obviously wrong, and therefore they win nothing of €2,500.
I like how everyone made fun of Dio for picking Anna Marie for trying to read the word. They said that was really stupid of Dio to do because she's the most suspected person amongst the cast right now.
And yet he still did it.
I did get a laugh of Martin seeing the V in the eye, thinking it was an N, and then Anna Marie immediately shutting down with the excuse that, well, not unless they're Russian.
It could be a backwards N, maybe.
Maybe one with a tilde above it? Maybe it's a Spanish word?
So at lunch, Tim comes up to Dio and tells him that he suspects Anna Marie. He's trying to help Dio a bit as he's a nice guy and he wants him to get further in the game. I'm going to say this now. Tim does say this a few times in this episode, and I'm calling bullshit. The only reason that he wanted to keep Dio in the game is because Dio would have been easier to beat.
Yep.
Dio is absolute cannon fodder.
Yeah, especially on that final quiz where every question would have been, how many steps did the mole take? Oh, Dio skipped that question.
Yeah, Dio is the absolute perfect person to take with you as far as you can through this game, because he is going to be a meat shield and will not survive longer than you will. So for all Tim's altruism in this challenge, or in this episode, I don't buy it for a second.
I think Dio's a nice guy, though.
Yeah, Dio is
Yeah.
a nice guy. Dio seems perfectly lovely, but he is not cut out for a game like Vidum.
No.
Art then meets them on a hillside for the final challenge of the episode. One person will be trusted with a crucial task to finally get them out of the red, and they pick Martin. The rest must divide into pairs, and remember that there is no smoke without fire.
Before Art did his scene, it was nice of Lisbeth to provide like the alt text description of the landscape for viewers using screen readers to watch this show.
It was very hilly. There were lots of rocky plateaus.
Yeah, and we see it over the shots of it is very hilly. There are lots of rocky plateaus. I'm like, yeah, that's 20 seconds we could have done without.
And a man in a leather jacket with blonde hair is introducing the task.
Oh my god, the copy of Traitors Island, the first episode I downloaded, I started watching it and didn't realize it had like the audio description. And if you, as funny as those like scenes where they go around picking the traitors is normally, imagine that with like a whole bunch of like audio narration of Gibbon just sort of, and she walks around just brushing her fingers against her head. She goes to reach for somebody and then pulls her hand back, and like just like 5 minutes of just audio narration of person walking around just tapping people on the shoulder. It's hilarious.
The other thing is, anything in an Irish voice is instantly a lot funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who the fuck is a traitor?
Yeah, all jokes aside, like Traitors Island is brilliant, mainly because they are allowed to go fuck a lot of the time. I've never seen another Traitors where when a faithful is revealed, the first reaction is just fuck. Like it's brilliant.
Oh, fucking hell, we messed up again.
Like any audio description in an Irish accent instantly going to be more entertaining.
Who the fuck is that guy?
And I say this as someone who is a quarter Irish, so can actually get away with these jokes.
Who the fuck is that guy? Well, Dio, his name is Art. He's the host, and you don't have to worry about seeing him for very long.
Someone did suggest on the Brothers Bar Discord yesterday that that there should be an international traitors series with some of the best people. It's like Porty and Linda, and I'm like, yes, sign them up immediately. Please put those two in the conclave together just for the entertainment.
Although if they do that, they probably will stick Sam in there, and I'm like, I'm not watching another season with Sam.
Yeah, but also Porty would destroy him. There is not a chance in hell that Porty does not backstab him immediately because he's basically just exactly like Eamon was. So the pairs end up being Anna Marie and Fritz, Lisbeth and Merritt, Dio and Tim, and Hatewatch and William. Martin and Art will be taking a drive of 3.5 kilometres, and along the way, the code, which is 4263, to a box must be communicated, and Martin can earn them €3,000 by guessing if they will succeed or not.
Spoilers.
Yeah, even without knowing it's this group, I think you bet against them immediately when you know they're going to be communicating by smoke signal.
Yeah. Like, relaying the code was completely impossible anyway. But when you add A, a mole, B, Dio, and C, how windy it is, like, there was no chance at all that they were getting this right. It's kind of a miracle that they got to the end and they were only one number off before Dio got involved.
Apart from Merritt and Lisbeth, who do it perfectly. They have the correct tactic, they know what they're doing, and everyone else fucks it up.
I'm trying to think if there would have been a worse way to do this than Dio did with the signal.
Absolutely not.
Other than like if he like sat in the oil drum, that'd be about it. Sat in the smoke.
I genuinely do not think that it's possible to do this challenge and still do it worse than Dio did. Because A, he interpreted the code wrong anyway, but then B, on top of that, he doesn't leave any gap between the smoke. So it just becomes an amorphous blob of smoke.
And not only does he like not leave any gap, everyone else is basically lifting the lid sort of all the way up over their heads before putting it back down. Dio is like just sort of raising it sort of half a foot using, like he's basically using a hand fan.
Yeah. For all I want to be a contrarian and defend Dio here, this is indefensible.
Yeah.
Like, if Martin didn't have that dilemma, the failure of this challenge would be solely on Dio's shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, this should have been 6 challenge losses in a row, but production really threw them a bone here.
I will say, like, nothing's done a better job explaining sort of the tone of these first 2 episodes than those extended B-roll scenes of each pair being positioned at their smoke barrels, all cold and miserable in swirling winds.
Yeah, it did not look pleasant. I know
Yeah.
Iceland was a backup location and the backup location of all backup locations, but it did not look pleasant.
Do we know how last minute it was that they switched to Iceland?
I would assume they had less than 3 or 4 weeks to plan because
Yeah, I think I read it was about 4 weeks, but I might be misremembering.
because they would have filmed middle of 2011 because it would have been summer in Iceland, even though it doesn't look like it. Because
it was just after the Arab Spring.
So they would have had very little notice that Morocco was going to be too expensive for security, and then they would have had to film very quickly in Iceland. So yeah, just about like the only person who seems warm in this challenge is William, and that's mostly because it kind of looks like Hardwick is pegging him at one point.
I trust you.
Genuinely, there's like one shot of them huddling so close together that I'm like, thank God it's framed from the waist up.
So the Moroccan bit of the Arab Spring started on the 20th of February 2011.
Yeah, and they probably would have filmed around May. So
yeah, well, Art's last season was filmed around May, and nowadays it's filmed sort of between August and October, I think.
Yeah,
due to Rick's schedule. So yeah, it's probably sometime around May, like you said. So maybe 4 to 6 weeks at most notice that they had for Iceland.
Yeah, because like it would have happened. They would have had a couple of weeks of trying to make it work before they decided not to.
Yeah, because also the other element of this is I don't think they would have needed any visas for Iceland.
Yeah.
So it would have been an easy switch. They would have been limited with the last minute changes to what countries can we film in that also we don't need to arrange any visas for.
Yeah, so it basically would have been somewhere in Schengen, and Iceland just happened to be the easiest place.
There's only one other season where there was a last minute switch, and I think it was less last minute, which was Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Was originally going to be Russia.
I think I remember reading or hearing that Colombia might have been a switch as well, because
Colombia was definitely theorized to be, but we know for a fact that Sri Lanka was swapped in for Russia, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a shame that we've never had a mole season in Russia, but also look at Russia.
It is, but also I think Belkia doing it would have been better.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved to see what Belkia would have done with Russia. I know we saw a little bit of it with the German challenges that we got being themed around East Germany and all that sort of stuff, but like, just imagine Papa Bear running riot in Moscow and stuff. It would have been delightful.
We're doing a Gulag challenge.
Well, it would have been better than how Amazing Race Australia handled Uzbekistan this week.
I think you mean the bit of the USSR that they could actually go to that still speaks Cyrillic. I also love how it's obviously planned to be a 3-episode weekly thing, and they're just like, yeah, it's doing so terribly. Let's put talking about your generation on the Tuesday. And that was so bad.
Yeah.
That was genuinely awful television. I watched the first episode as someone who, quite enjoyed the original version of it.
Yeah, the original version was great.
Yeah, this isn't.
What is this show?
So it's a game show. It used to be hosted by Sean McAuliffe. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's very like surrealist sort of. What would be the easiest equivalent? Imagine if John Oliver hosted a game show.
Okay.
Yeah, but sort of more jokey, more like breaking the fourth wall, sort of somewhere between John Oliver and Whose Line Is It Anyway? And they had like 3 teams that were like different generations. So like I think the first version was baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, and then sort of every time they bring it back, they sort of shifted a generation along. So I think the second one was X, Y, and Z, and now it's whatever's left.
It's still it's XYZ now, and it was XYZ last time, I think, as well.
Oh, then what's the point in bringing it back?
It's cheap.
Yeah, like they'll have games like try and ID these like corporate logos, but we're only going to show you like one line of the logo at a time, or guess whose face we've pixelated, or like not hard games, but like they do it in such a ridiculous way that it makes you laugh anyway. I'll send you some clips.
Yeah, the classic thing it's associated with is the magic window round, as they call it. So you got 4 different images that are linked in some way, and behind each of them is a challenge, and each generation picks one of them. One of them is invariably a trust me challenge, which is worth double points, but involves one of the teammates being strapped into a pillory or something and getting nacho ingredients poured on them if they get questions wrong, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
The infamous one was a special where someone's grandma was strapped into a human nacho machine, and it ended badly.
Yeah.
Sounds like more like a Japanese game show challenge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
Basically, they brought it back on Tuesday evening, so yesterday for Australia, and it was not good.
Oh, why was Bo Ryan the host?
No, it's just thoroughly boring. Weirdly, they gave it to Jonathan LaFalia. They're just really trying to keep him on side at this point. I also love how we have not referenced in 2 episodes the fact that we did spend a lot of Northern Ireland Jordan going, yeah, they're not going to fire JLP. He's too integral to the show. Yeah, about that. That backfired.
Well, they're not going to fire Bo Ryan. He's too integral to the show.
Please, God, don't let them fire Bo.
So integral.
I definitely want to see 50 more seasons of Amazing Race Australia at this point.
Of him heckling locals and making jokes with them at the expense, where the whole joke is just, oh, random pit stop greeter doesn't speak English, therefore hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's still doing that after like 6 seasons of it.
Well, there's finally been a bit of backlash to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that article and I was thinking, where was that article in like 2022 or 2021?
I think there was like backlash the first season, but then because of COVID, the next season was domestic and it stopped being an issue for some reason because I guess there wasn't the language barrier. But they've sort of been doing it ever since again. But I did kind of laugh sort of watching like one of the Discords bragging about, oh, the ratings are so much better than last year. And I'm like, well, no, because A, they're down. B, like even like the episodes that are sort of the same as last year, they're so close, it's basically a rounding error. And like it's coming fourth in the time slot in a system that only really has 3 networks competing. And it's not a close fourth. They're the fourth by like 200,000 viewers. So like it is not doing very well at all. I would guess that a renewal next season is pretty much entirely dependent on whether Big Brother does well.
Have you been banned from Tarhub yet?
Not yet.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I know. I keep trying.
Anyway, back to this.
Yeah.
They do terribly at it. Martin luckily bets against them. They win $3,000. Simples. Art and Martin drive up. They get the chance to unlock the box, but it remains closed. However, Martin bet on their failure, and they win €3,000 of 3,000 for the challenge, €3,000 of 7,500 for the episode, and €2,500 of 15,500 for the season so far. He also tells the 3 people in front of him that it's time for test and execution.
And Merritt thinks she found a clue.
She does. All pointing to Tim.
This is Michael Boatman's R-list clue again.
It's time for the test. 20 questions about the identity and actions of the mole who have no least goes home except for the mole who can never go home, and Tim's got an exemption.
I think this is the coldest quiz location since the premiere or the first 2 episodes of the Argentina season.
Yeah, like they put them on a beach for some reason, even though it's freezing.
Well, that lady got back from doing the shopping.
Yeah, good point.
Are you a local here?
William says he's got 3 people in mind. Fritz is number 1, though. Lisbeth is pretending to be really into the game, but she's his number 2. Fritz says it's great to be suspected. None of his political experiences have been as tough as Vista Mol has been in 2 episodes. Anna Marie thinks that Fritz sabotaged 2 of the challenges. Lisbeth thinks her chances are good. She's focusing on 3 people and would have to be completely off track to be wrong. Merritt has been distracted by the number of the code. She's added, divided, and multiplied them and can't find anything concrete. Hatewatch says she and Tim have got close, but what if he's the mole? Martin thinks that Tim would fill the role as he's introverted, cautious, and guarded, and didn't do much specifically in the challenges. Dio says his heart is beating like crazy, but he feels like he's on the right track. It's all or nothing, and he's going with his gut. Don't trust nobody. Stop trying to be the new Horace. there is only one Horace Cohen, family name Horace Cohen, born New York City, Netherlands, USA. And Tim thinks that it'll be Dio, but he hopes it isn't, as he's a nice person.
Bless.
Art says they're competing against the elements and each other, but also the mole. The mole's had it easy so far, but they struck back and finally earned some money. Fritz, Anna-Marie, and Merritt all got green screens before, shot gasp horror, Dio bumbles his way into the red screen, meaning that Saunders has not done a Mr. Bean again.
Yay!
He took a big risk, but ultimately, he wrong.
Or as they say in Traitors Ireland, oh fuck, he gone.
You fucking wrong.
The group's eulogy for him is basically, he was fun and I liked him, but holy shit.
I cannot wait for the bingo board of Fuzzy going, terrible Irish accents to do he gone.
We should get the Welsh AI to do just a he gone at the end of the episode.
Nice guy, awful. What pretty much the worst Venom performance of all time, or certainly a very, very strong contender of it. We've covered a lot of seasons. I can't think of anybody else who did worse than Dio did, just because he had 6 challenges, screwed up every challenge so badly, and also defaulted to the absolute worst quiz strategy you can possibly do on both quizzes.
I believe this is 26 or 27 mole seasons at this point.
One of these days, you're going to get it right.
Will Saunders finish the year, even though you won't hear this until next year, actually getting 1 correct?
Well, I'm already doing better than Dio did this season.
Yeah, but that's a low bar. You are the Dio of the podcast sometimes, Saunders. So, next time, speedboats, yokas are introduced, advanced questions, and they meet a scary local who may or may not be either a clown or a neighbour coming looking for sex.
Oh, it's your Owen.
Well, there's my intro for next week.
Yeah, it's low hanging fruit next week, I'm afraid. You're probably going to get that one, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Final 3 questions. Who does Saunders suspect? Who's the sneaky Tasmanian? And who's going home next week?
Who did I say was the sneaky Tasmanian the first week?
I cannot remember.
Probably Dio.
I'll go with Merritt as the sneaky Tasmanian.
Interesting. I think you might have said Merritt last week.
Oh, that's good. I'm consistent.
Yes, it rings a bell.
And my suspect list: Lisbeth, number 1, Hadowich, number 2, Merritt, number 3, Martin, number 4, Fritz, number 5. I had Dio up to 6, because I really don't suspect the other 3 right now. Number 7, Anna-Marie. Number 8, Tim. Number 9, William.
Noted.
I mean, you say it's good that you're consistent picking Marriott as the secret Tasmanian, but how many weeks did you pick Vivian as the secret Belgian? How many weeks did you think Nadia was the mole?
Too many is the answer.
So if I keep shuffling my guesses every week, I'm guaranteed to get some points on the board. Just rotate between all 9 of them. So let's see. So next week, or how many suspects do I get for episode 3? Do I still get 3?
Yeah, next week. If we were doing this as proper suspects, yeah, you would still get 3 next week.
So then next week I should have Martin, Fritz, and Anna-Marie as my suspects, and after that Tim and William, and then I can't lose. Or just not lose as badly.
I mean, you can, because ultimately it's irrelevant until the last week. We do this weekly just to kind of keep a track of your suspects, but you got to nail your colours to the mast in week 9. Like, that's the one that really determines whether we take the piss or not. It's fun if you get it wrong every single week, but, like, you can claim some credit if you get it by week 9. Arguably, not as much as if you get it in, like, weeks 1 through 8.
Right.
Anyway, who's going home?
Who's got the exemption? Merritt's got the exemption next
Merritt's
week,
got
right?
the exemption next week.
So it's not going to be her.
You never know. Crazy things have happened.
Yeah. She's not Bradford. What a reference that is.
That is a deep cut.
I can just picture somebody listening thinking Bradford and just need about 20 minutes to mentally filter through every reality TV contestant they can think of.
It's a reference to a very lesser-known television program called The Apprentice, the US version specifically.
And it wasn't even it was one of the middle seasons, I think.
Oh, so one of the ones nobody watched.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have been season 2. Might have been season 2.
Yeah, I was going to say I thought I recognized the name, and I think I only ever saw the first 2-3 seasons.
So I think Martin will stick around next week. We'll give the athletes some sort of chance here. Let's go with Anna Marie goes next.
Interesting choice.
It's always an interesting choice to you too.
Have we eulogized Dio enough? Does he need another 50 minutes of us taking the piss, or can I go to bed?
I mean, he doesn't need another 50 minutes, but you can't go to bed yet.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I know your impressions are legendary, Saunders, but I think that one may be one of your best.
Yeah.
And by best, I obviously mean catastrophically terrible.
I have a question. Is Logan Saunders the Dio of the podcast, or is Dio the Logan Saunders of Vias Demol?
Ooh, that is a very good question.
Oh, sounds like a poll.
It's 6 of one and half a dozen of another for me, I think. Neither can exist without the other.
Yeah, they are very co-Dio-pendant.
Anyway, I'm ending this now.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
We're not going to top Saunders asking us who the fuck is this when we genuinely are asking that question about his impression. Or indeed that pun. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to our Vias Demol 2012 recap. We'll be back next week to continue the hunt for another mole in Iceland and Spain. Don't forget you can contact us on pretty much every social media platform except TikTok, where we are RTV Warriors, or you can email us on contact@rtvwarriors.com. You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/rtvwarriors and get early access to the rest of the episodes of the season and maybe Logan's nudes at that link in our bio. Thank you, as always, to That.Spark for the subtitles. We'll see you next week. And as is now traditional, I mean this with all my heart. Fuck you, Logan, and fuck you, Donna.
Peace out and just chill till the next flavoring.
I'm genuinely trying not to make dirty jokes this season.
And not succeeding.
Well.
Dio, he's a lovely guy, but he gone.